But to me, that's the fun bit. It's like a video game that has a something in the prologue that you get the payoff for, 20 hours later in chapter 3. That, to me, that's part of the great bit of thoughtful design and construction.
In the distant future, vampires rule the night, but their numbers are dwindling. One podcast is unlike all the others. Half human, half vampire. This is Lefty Speaks, the official podcast for Vampire Hunter D.
You had something here for, Legend of Galactic Heroes.
Yeah, I mean, now there are 10 books in that series.
We can't walk away from this.
No. There are 10 books in that series. This is volume 6, which is one of my favorite volumes because, good God, so much happens. This is like the Empire Strikes Back. Basically, every chapter in Legend of Galactic Heroes is like the end of Empire Strikes Back, in my opinion. But this whole book, every word is like Empire Strikes Back. However, the reason I included this one is this is a great example of showing Free Planets Alliance, this is their war fleet, and how simple of a design can also be foreboding, because this fleet is an extermination fleet. It is absolutely gorgeous. Every design in the ship, absolutely gorgeous. Every piece of that image is well thought out. When they design the ship, I mean, if you read the books or watch the anime, just watch the new one. The old one is a lot of episodes. The new one is a lot shorter, but it has the same power. And every single cover of which I can pull out right now, I've got them all here. Every single cover of every book is like almost a poster. And space opera book design has gone to hell lately, But this, I mean, you just get the vibe of what you're about to read. Straight up. It's just extraordinary stuff.
Yeah, no, we've talked about this franchise before, and the Legend of Galactic Heroes to me is one of those, like I saw a video the other day of like this guy talking about, the 10 anime you should have given a chance to, that they're absolutely amazing, that, for whatever reason you walked past. And one of the ones he talked about was Galactic Heroes and the reasons why he had avoided it for years. And when we look at, what you get out of this story, it's a lot to strap in for because of the length of both either the books or the adaptation. But oh wow, is it some amazing social commentary? I mean, that question of what do we want? The better, dictatorship, or almost benevolent dictatorship, or the corrupt democracy. And this story critiques both, because before Reinhardt gets involved, I mean, the whole motivation for Reinhardt, which I don't consider this much a spoiler because it's right at the very beginning, is the Emperor essentially kidnaps his sister to make her his concubine because she's hot.
Pretty much. Here's another one.
And so that's what gets Reinhardt.
Gorgeous covers. Wow.
Yeah.
And this is the
one. So then you've got the other side of his counterpart, the military genius Yang Wendy. He wants to be a history student.
That's all.
He doesn't want to be in the military. But he's pulled into the military like everyone else because they're fighting this war against the Galactic Empire.
And it's a useless war because nothing ever really changes. It's like an endless conflict, they just keep fighting.
It's 100-year plus war. They're just killing each other because neither side wants to surrender to the other because we're better. Why? We're a democracy. You're an insanely corrupt democracy.
Well, not the empire.
Democracy.
Democracy.
Yeah, the allied side.
It's funny you say that because I'm sorry, the emperor, they base their whole organization on like Prussian, like almost Weimar Republic right before Nazi rule, and they're very big into everybody being blonde there, which is really crazy. You know.
Yeah, there are references in the story that, so one of the, it's insane. There's like, I think something like 600 named characters in this story. And it's all woven together masterfully well. Like, he did a great job keeping track of who all the people were, the different admirals and characters, their motivations. But there's one guy who's blind, so he's got cybernetic eyes. He's our very Machiavellian character. And he is, commenting at one point that he's only alive because he wasn't born during a recent previous emperor's time, because he had a eugenics decree.
Yep.
That if you're born with certain disabilities or whatnot, you're just killed at birth. We don't want you. And it's barely there, but this character just has, it's a line that he has in passing, talking
Is it
about
Oberhauser? It's Oberhauser,
yes,
right?
Oberhausen.
Yeah.
Like his motive, he's asked about, why are you here? What's your motivation? Like, we're questioning, why should we let you into our circle? And he's describing why he will be of use to this group, to Reinhardt's. He's essentially auditioning to get a job with Reinhardt, the main character on the Empire side. And so he's describing why he doesn't like the Empire, why he wants to help him topple it from within, take over. And like you said, the art design, I think, does a great job of telling that backdrop of, it's a space opera, but it's not just, big ship go boom.
Right.
It's an amazing story. And, I love the fact that they smartly, in my mind, paired your art with the story. There's no round peg, square hole here. And honestly, I can't think of a lot of designs where I would say we have a famous round peg, square hole of your story to your art, which I think is a good testament to the fact that if you try to round peg, square hole it, you're probably not going to see success.
Yeah, they have a couple of art books that came out and art magazines that came out for Legend of Galactic Heroes back in the late 90s, like around 98, 99. And I was fortunate, I didn't own them, but I was fortunate enough to see them. And from my friends who could read Japanese and katakana, especially katakana and hiragana, they were just telling me all the thoughts that the author had put into why he designed the things, how much of a chess game in space he made this story. And that's ultimately what it really is. It's a really elongated, massive,
3D chess,
like Bobby Fischer versus Kasparov type of thing. It just goes on and on and on and on. And nobody can ever really get the upper hand. And, no matter how beautiful the ships were, no matter how beautiful the cities were, they were still just pawns in this grand game of war. So, we keep talking about it because I strongly recommend anybody who likes science fiction to check out either the novels and or the newer series, because the newer series is more truncated and you can get into it.
And it's actually available.
It is available legally.
You cannot get the original series anymore, despite promises that you would be able to. It still frustrates me to this day. And part of the reason I would recommend just get the Crunchyroll. Yeah, I know Crunchyroll's got their problems that people dislike about them. I'm not saying they're perfect by any means. They're not. But some of the reports I've seen recently about some of the malware that people have been strapping into torrent stuff, particularly in the subtitle files. Whoo, that's some pretty evil stuff people have been coming up with there. So be careful
I
out there,
mean,
folks.
but like if you try to download something illegally,
Yeah, if you're download, it was basically it's an exploit through a subtitle file in torrents that deploys a really nasty malware suite.
And it can put
And it's
everything of
something,
yours on the dark web immediately.
yeah, there is some really nasty stuff people
so the
have come up
lesson
with that's come
here,
out recently.
the lesson here is don't illegally download stuff.
Right.
Yeah, there's
That's what
I
yeah, I mean, like,
understand I
yeah,
understand Louis Rossman's argument of, his slogan that he said was, if buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing. Part of the problem is there are plenty of people who want to take advantage of that fact to give you malware and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah. I mean,
drain your bank account.
I have a, I'm, yeah, I have some traumatic stress from my movie Sushi Girl being seeded 1.3 million times over 11 days when we released the movie. We were getting pirated on par with Expendables, and it for a little movie that's painful,
That's a
It's
very
yeah.
everything.
painful.
It's everything.
Because I mean, if we had just gotten $1 for each of those,
Yeah.
I mean,
You
we
could have
could
made
have we
made
could have
another movie.
made another movie. Just it would have been greenlit immediately. So yeah, I mean, piracy is painful. I'm not saying that people deserve malware. You know,
Yes.
I'm just saying that I don't like piracy. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I think
clear
we
the
all
air
have
on that
stories
one.
about it affecting people we know. Like, I was at an event with Ralph Winter. The day after, it was immediately after they had just they were about to release the Wolverine movie, and a copy of the whole movie, somebody leaked it to the internet,
Yeah,
and he's just like, oh, it hurt the entire cast and crew. It
yeah,
hurt. He's like, it's not just the studio, it's all of us that get hurt
yeah,
by this. Everybody who worked on the movie.
yeah. Yeah, because I mean, just examples. Sushi Girl was a non-union film, and we went about it in every way possible. I mean, obviously we had SAG actors, but we had gotten blessings from all the other unions. We were on the Universal lot. Yahtzee and the Teamsters. We had talked to kind of the Godfathers, and directly, and said, hey, if we could go union, we absolutely would. But we're filming this movie for $290,000. We can't. I mean, union would give us like 5 days. I mean, we couldn't film a whole movie on union. But the whole goal was to make a movie that would be successful enough that we could, rehire the entire, our entire crew and cast and everyone that could be returned, and make another movie, but all union, right? And that was our one of our goals. And you know yeah, the torrents definitely took a big it's kind of like, it's not just a flesh wound, to refer to Monty Python again. Unfortunately, Sushi Girl wasn't the Black Knight that could hop on one leg and still you know yeah, it was kind of a death blow for the movie. So
Yeah.
don't illegally download stuff, please.
I mean, the flip side to that, because I remember, I tell this story quite a bit, but not everybody listens to every episode. So, in New York City, in Chinatown, on Elizabeth Street, there used to be a place called Penguin Village, and I've sent links about it. And this is where you could get, back in the day, gray market
Mm-hmm.
VCDs, DVDs, PlayStation games, and Dreamcast games burnt
Yep.
on discs. And the thing that I always thought was that if and when, because I always felt bad about buying that stuff, but I always said if and when they ever got a legitimate release, I would buy it, and I
Yeah.
did, and I did. So I have like 4 or 5 copies of some of the same series only because I wanted to support the
Mm-hmm.
people once they
Yep.
got an
Yep.
official license, because I know
Oh
for
yeah.
a fact that out there, people listening or people who may listen in the future have probably gone to illegal streams. I never liked to do it because of what Scott talked about. Back in the early 2000s, the malware was so bad when if you downloaded the wrong thing, your computer would turn blue. You would get like it would be a blue screen
You were cooked.
and you were done. You had to basically destroy your own hard drive because everything was corrupted, including everything you had on there. And this is
Wow.
back in the days of the 3/4, little disc that you popped in, and if you had that disc in there, you couldn't use that because that would spread the virus somewhere else. So I learned a lesson years ago. I don't tell this story very often, but I was trying. I don't know what I was trying to watch. It might have been, I don't know, some Evangelion stuff. I don't know. But I had tried to download something, and my computer turned blue, and it never turned back on again.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, this would have been like 2000, right when I was going into grad school. So I learned. Actually, I was in the middle of grad school, which was really a really big tragedy for me because a bunch of my work was on that computer. But I learned some lessons, and I used to tell my students who were all like bootlegging Naruto in the early 2000s and all the later Dragon Ball stuff that they really should stop doing that. But for me, the moment that Gundam became available, I bought. I actually bought, and I wish I still had it. I bought the original Gundam Zeta release that was exclusive to Best Buy. It was a big box set that had the original opening songs and the original of subtitling. It wasn't dubbed, but it was a very different release than the newer release that came out much later. Which I own, but I don't like as much because they don't include the original Zeta opening song. But I still bought it. I have the Blu-rays. I have every officially released Gundam Blu-ray that Sunrise ever put out.
Yeah, I remember picking up, the Hong Kong, versions of it, getting that from different friends because in the US, anime was incredibly difficult to get a hold of. It was a bunch
Yeah,
of, fan sub groups trading, VHS cassettes and eventually DVDs because there was no
Yeah.
legal way to get them in the United States. Licensing of anime was not a thing for a
Yeah.
long
right.
time. And I'm glad now that it is. It's so much simpler and easier.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, I think we, like to everything else in life, it's cyclical. Like when streaming first came about, everybody loved it of, oh, I can ditch cable.
Yeah.
And now streaming have become cable bundles and we're seeing a resurgence. I think I saw an article yesterday that physical media sales, like CDs, jumped 47% from 23 to 24.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yeah.
a year over year at that, and it's describing how, people are now finding far more value in actually owning something because I can loan it to my friend and, be it Amazon or Paramount or whatever else, Disney can't go, we're just going to take this thing that you paid
Yes.
for away. Well, I
Yes.
paid for it. Well, no. Well, yeah, we took your money for it, but you didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. No, I mean,
are
I
you
always
gonna send
tell
the
people.
Pinkertons to
Yeah.
come steal my DVD?
Yeah. No, I mean, I've always been telling people because obviously, the industry in general has wanted, once they saw the move towards streaming, the goal was to remove the ownership at all from everything, right? And so for me, I love, I love going to like Venice Beach, and when I listen to a street performer that I really like, I like buying their CD, right? I mean, and I've been doing that since I first moved to LA. But I also, like, I have Spotify, and every time I hear a new music that, or a new group, a new performer that I like, I immediately order the a CD, a physical copy of it, because you don't know when it's going to disappear, and your library of owned movies and music on any platform can disappear because of one agreement change, or I mean, there is no consistency. You don't own it, right?
Yeah, you don't know what the legality
Yeah,
behind it is.
yeah, exactly. You get physical media. I mean, it's the same thing. When I mean, I just bought both the Arcane season 1 and season 2
Nice.
of the kind of the steel box collector's edition videos, because who knows? I mean, I'm just like, I'm not going to rely on Netflix to watch that. That is amazing. Obviously, all the extra features are amazing. But yeah,
It's like when Funimation, Sony bought Funimation and Crunchyroll and merged them together. Well, that corporate merger killed the license for the people who bought digital content on
Yep.
Funimation.
yep,
Yep.
And your digital library just got deleted.
yep,
And now we're seeing Netflix potentially buying everything Warner Brother,
yeah,
and we see a hostile bid from Paramount, and that insanity. Well, if you ever bought digital content on, say, HBO, I would be a little concerned.
yep. Or anything that you bought on Amazon, once it transfers to Netflix, you
It's done.
there. I don't know. Obviously, it all depends on the agreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it might go down that day. It might expire, in 3 months. You don't know. But the point is physical media is king. Get if you really truly love something, get it in physical media. Obviously,
And you get some
there are
cool
there are
art
real
potentially.
concerns that
Hmm.
in the future, how you will play a DVD or a Blu-ray or whatever might go away. Well, I mean, like, I know a lot of people complain that they've got VHS that they can't watch anymore. For us old folks that have those, but I
Hey,
I
there are
have
still
a
shops that do
yep,
VHS.
yep.
It's
I
like
have a
vinyl
TV.
records have made a comeback.
Yep. Oh, I love that. I love that. Cause I have a really great record collection, and my mom especially has a massive collection, and I was just like, wow, it's kind of sad. But now I'm looking at getting a turntable again, and I'm like, oh, good. See one that can both do analog and digital, so
Mm-hmm.
I could
Hmm.
listen on my headphones or whatever. So I'm shopping for one. Maybe
It,
Christmas. Maybe
the
Santa will.
vinyl revolution has been something that's warmed my heart tremendously because with the way music is treated, with the lack of development that goes into new artists, and
Yep.
we've all had to unfortunately become pioneers and start digging through, the North and South Pole again
Yep.
to
Bloody
find
AI
people.
art.
And there are incredible. I mean, as we all know, there are incredible musicians out there who don't get airplay.
Yeah.
There, I just discovered, a bunch of like goth, like African American goth bands, and
Oh,
metal bands. It's all on my Instagram. I always
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
retweet
now I
them.
got now now I got to follow you on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but it's just like I just find all these people, and I'm sitting there like they put absolute trash in front of us when there's filet mignon everywhere, and they won't serve it to us. There's, Maryland blue crab everywhere, but they won't serve it to us. They're giving us, Taco Bell crab meat, instead.
The imitation.
It's not even.
It's
It's like it's not
imitation of
even good.
imitation.
It's like plastic food almost. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we do need to invest in the analog revolution because I feel like that's going to inspire people. Because art does not come from collaboration in terms like it doesn't come from boardroom collaboration, which only wants to water everything down. Everything that's really stuck are things that are extremely authentic and to the heart, to the soul.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I remember in that regard, I remember getting into a discussion with with the head of a production company, and they had initially been interested in Vampire Hunter D, and they wanted to ask about it. And so I met with her and her team, and the biggest problem they had was, well, how do we make it kid friendly? It's got to be 4-quadrant. And I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
this can't be 4-quadrant. We're not trying to be 4-quadrant and kid friendly and Y7. That's not what this franchise is. It's like, it reminds me of Neal's story of that executive asking, can we get rid of this left hand character?
I know, I was just gonna say that. Like, that's reminding me of that. It's like, oh my
What do
god.
you mean you like Vampire Hunter D, but we need to be able to make it kid friendly? You don't.
Scott, I'm going to say something real quick. These executives, Disney, all these people keep whining, we can't find men. Where are men? Where are young men? We can't get men 18 to 55. Because 4-quadrant should not be your basis. It's okay, because when boys animation was reigning supreme in the 80s through the 90s, girls watched it too.
Yeah.
Boys watch Gem and the Holograms. Boys watch, some boys watch My
Shakira.
Little Pony. Oh, I'm just saying, and She-Ra. Well, She-Ra is a good example.
She-Ra, not Shakira. She-Ra,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, but not so much.
The
My Little
reboot for
Bronies.
that.
Yeah.
There's so many things that you can cross and don't have to be like, oh no, this is only for boys, this is only for girls.
Right.
No. But to me, it's be authentic to what you've got. We are, for Vampire Hunter D, it doesn't need to be 4-quadrant. You shouldn't try to change it to be, oh, it's for kids and can go everywhere. No, it is adult oriented story. It's it's Ryan Reynolds' argument of Deadpool should be R-rated. Why? Mm-hmm. Because that's the character of Deadpool. Yeah. And it became the most successful R-rated movie ever because it didn't try to be everything to everyone. It was, this is the story that it's built upon. This is the character that it's built upon. We're not going to change that. We're going to lean into it. And, I think tying in of our discussion and showing and talking about art and themes of why they're important and your iconic brand building. Well, would you want a Vampire Hunter D Y7 story? Like that to me doesn't make sense. It flies in the face of 40 plus novels. And to me, I think that's part of the trap we get in, is thinking that, to succeed, we've got to try and appeal to everyone. Mm-hmm. In my mind, it's that old saying, if you're trying to make everyone happy, you're just going to succeed at making no one happy.
Yeah, that's a classic quote. I mean, I hate to even quote Bill Cosby, but he says I don't know the secret of success, but I know the secret of failure, and that's try to please everybody. You know. I mean, there's space for a Vampire Hunter D super deformed Y7 hilarious thing maybe 10 years down the line after we've had significant success bringing the core audience in.
It's like if you want to make the National Lampoon version as a joke and everyone is aware
it's in on
it is pure satire and everyone is in on the joke. That's one thing. And that, if done well, can be absolutely amazing. Yep. Like, there's one of my favorite pieces of art that has been created as we've worked on the Vampire Hunter D franchise is a cover piece by Agnes Grabowska.
Oh, yeah,
it's a My Little Pony art style of Chibi D. It became a fan favorite. I love that thing.
I remember it.
And to me, those things like that can be absolutely amazing and fun and beloved if you do it right and you're respectful about it and you're not trying to make it you're not trying to twist the soul of something.
Thank you for listening to Lefty Speaks, the official Vampire Hunter D podcast, hosted by Brandon Easton, Neal Fischer, and Scott McLean. This podcast is created by Unified Pictures and 9 Realms. Narration by Lauren Evallen-Muller. Recording and editing by 9 Realms. Produced by Scott McLean and Ian E. Muller. Based on the works created by Hideyuki Kikuchi. Happy hunting.